The goals for Pristine LED is really, from the beginning, was to bring a high quality LED product to market. When we started out, there was really not a lot of product that took care of a lot of the main lighting in the world today. Most people think of their lighting when they think of their home and the kitchen bulb and the bathroom bulb, but that really is a minute proportion of the electricity that's consumed in lighting. Where we focus on is taking care of the institutional, the commercial, the industrial applications, where these companies are consuming megawatts of electricity. So when we developed our products, and as we continue to develop them, we focus on the commercial industrial applications where we can get the biggest bang for the buck and create the largest carbon removal for the world and for the planet. Pristine LED was started out of what I consider necessity. The environmental impact created by our lighting is profound, there's no doubt. The environment is one of the things that most people kind of forget about when it comes down to election day and voting and so on, but is always prevalent in our mind each and every day as we see more and more news stories coming in. We see the impact that our waste is creating and so on. So energy efficient LED lighting changes the playing field, so to speak, in many, many ways. One of the major impacts, which I'm very proud of and which was the cornerstone that I definitely wanted to build Pristine LED from, was the environmental impact that LED lighting can create for our environment today. You know, most people don't realize it, but we throw between 90 and 100 million tubes, fluorescent tubes, into the landfill site. Each and every one of those tubes have enough mercury inside to contaminate 22,700 liters of drinking water. That's one effect. You know, the carbon removal, which was one of the issues that we hear about all the time in the news today, carbon removal, carbon removal. There is no finer way for any company, institution, industry to really seize on and create a good solid carbon removal footprint than our LED technology. One of the things when it comes to lighting, especially when we're looking at high intensity discharge lamps, when we're looking at the fluorescent world and so on, is the ongoing maintenance that goes with it. I talked earlier about how many fluorescent tubes we throw into a landfill site and the environmental impact, but let's just look at the dollars and cents of it, okay? You put a lighting system in your ceiling, and a year later, 2 years later tops, you're forcing somebody, and the liability that goes with it, to go up a ladder, which is still the #1 industrial accident, to change those lamps and ballast. You have an ongoing cost. That's one of the nice things about LED. You put it in the ceiling, you forget about it for probably around a dozen years. So we get rid of that liability. So if you're a business owner, you know what your compensation file is like. You know that you don't need another claim, and unfortunately, the #1 accident in an industrial setting today is still falling off a ladder, changing a light bulb. Well, I'm very proud to say that it's a Canadian-made product from the ground up. We've been manufacturing solid state equipment and LED lighting in particular for well over 25 years now. So when it comes down to understanding how LED equipment works, I would say that we're probably the leaders in the industry. There was no doubt that the market was demanding reductions in consumption when it comes to electricity with their lighting requirements. First of all, the consumer will realize some dramatic reductions in consumption on their daily usage of lighting, but at the same time, with the reduction in consumption goes the carbon removal with it. And as a matter of fact, in our case with Pristine LED, we wanted to make the circle complete, whereas we produce the product, it goes out, has a very long life, and then at the end of life, it is completely recyclable, or best case scenario is we buy that waste back. So what we do, unlike any other company, is we buy back our lights. That's right. At the end of the life, whenever it's determined by yourself, okay, whether it be 10 years, 12 years, whatever years down the road, you're saying this light is no longer functional, you send it back to us and we buy that light back from you, just to ensure that we make the circle complete. Because when it comes to waste management, if you make the circle complete, you've done the job. And that's another thing that we pride ourselves on here at Pristine LED. The interesting thing, the reason our products take on this kind of a look, if you will, long, linear, is we use the entire fixture as a heat sink. There's no doubt that aluminum is the choice for a heat sink, but what everybody's trying to do is jam all their diodes into a small surface area, creating a lot of heat. We feel it's a lot easier to take care of a bunch of little campfires than one horrendous big bonfire, if you will. And that's why our product takes on the look that it is. But when you compare it to other products, I mean, simple temperature, just touch something else that's lit up, you'll find that's radiating tons and tons and tons of heat, which of course longer term is going to affect the circuitry and the performance of the diodes and so on, whereas ours is lukewarm each and every day, day in, day out. LED technology really duplicates about 90% of Mother Nature's spectrum of light, if you will. The light that we produce takes them relative, let's call it a gray, rainy day, a cloudy day, and brings that light inside, okay? Which is a fantastic light to do anything with. The color rendering superior, I mean, any kind of a quality control situation, I mean, our light is the one that you want. But the health implications, most people don't realize that fluorescent lighting or high intensity discharge lamps flicker at a high rate. If you're an epileptic, it sometimes causes seizures. We've all heard about, the man that was up in his office and he picked up his monitor and he threw it across the room. That had to do with the lighting. He was in an inside cubicle. His body was not getting natural light. It wasn't making the chemistry inside of his body work properly, so he was getting frustrated. He might have got a headache, suffering from eye strain, and so on. So when it comes to LED technology, our light, if you were to measure the spectrum with natural light, you'll find that it goes in the same way. There's no flicker, no problems there. So when people go to their doctor saying, doctor, I got terrible migraine headaches. I mean, I'm at work, I can only work for a couple hours. What they're talking about is seasonal affective disorder. Now, what the medical community has found is the proper, or what they utilize to help people in that situation is they literally take them into a room, put them in front of an LED light, let them sit there with the light shining on them for about an hour, and that's the treatment that the medical community is using today. One of the things that come to the forefront, especially if you're a controller, you own your company, is what is my return on investment? Okay? If I give you the money, Mr. Melmer, what do I get in back, and how long before it's paid off, and so on? It's a financial decision. Okay? And that's what I'm very proud about, because the green, the environment, but green for your pocket. There's no doubt we can put thousands and thousands of dollars back into your bottom line each and every month. If you have a facility that's operating 2 shifts, okay, by the time your people come in and start up the facility, by the time the last person leaves, you're burning about 18 hours. Your ROI on our product will be 8 months. And that's with no government incentives or nothing, just straight up, okay? 8 months ROI on an 18-hour burn. Where does it all start for you? Where it all starts for you is to contact us here at Pristine LED, all right? And what we'll do is send out one of our energy specialists to your door, and they're gonna walk through your facility, they're gonna count all your lights, they're gonna check all the wattages, they're gonna verify your burn hours, they're gonna verify your per kilowatt rate. They're gonna take that back to our office, we're gonna run it through our calculator, formulate all the information. They'll return to you in a couple of days or 3 days later, sit down with you in over 10 minutes, gonna show you exactly, right down to the very penny, how much you need to invest to get the project started, how much the government incentives that might be available, because we help you get all those incentives if there's available in your jurisdiction. But bottom line, right down to the penny, it's going to show you what kind of a return on investment and what kind of profit, again, you can put to your bottom line rather than send it to the hydro company or the tax man or whatever the situation be. And that's all done free by our company. So again, just make a call, send an email, make contact with us, and we'll have one of our specialists out to your door pretty quick to go through, do that audit, and bring you back the facts so you can make an educated decision for your needs in your facility, your application.